New Black Wall Street Book Club. Evan Jefferson, brother, much love. Educating, elevating, because in knowledge is the power and we'll never give it up. Literature that's for the masses. Where to put your money down, now how to watch your assets. Yeah, uplifting others is a passion. My brother Evan, he will turn it into action. New Black Wall Street Book Club. You should come read with us. Yeah, we comprehend and discuss. If we all just come together, there's no limit for us. Here comes your host, New Black Wall Street. Evan, take it away. New Black Wall Street Book Club.
All right, my beautiful people, man. Good evening to you. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight on the New Black Wall Street Book Club, our After Dark series, where we read at night. A little bit of time at night to keep our everlasting mind right. And we have found that the reading at night is very profound in helping us to capture information and also to activate our subconscious mind. I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified global financial educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprises, The Black Bazaar, and international best-selling author of the book. I'm also an author as well, which I have an affinity for books also, of the Black Billionaires Club. You can find that book that I wrote by simply going to the website, theblackbillionairesclub.com, theblackbillionairesclub.com. You can pick up your copy today. Now, tonight, guys, we are, as you see, the book on screen is The University of Success. We have been kind of traveling along through this book very methodically, I guess you can say, and we're into lesson 21 of 50. And tonight, we are going to be discussing how to stop putting things off. Now, I found this topic to be super, super relevant, especially for us who might find this word procrastination as being a theme of our life. And so if you are someone, who deals with a little bit of procrastination every now and then in your life, tonight just might be a time that could help you to stop putting things off. And so we'll get into that here tonight. And then we'll have whatever it is, I guess 29 more lessons to go through. I doubt we'll be through. We're still probably 2 months away from finishing this book, but we're going to keep trucking along. There's no rush. Just taking one day at a time. While you guys are connecting, man, let us know that you are here. We'd love to say hello to you. You are very valuable, special. You people show up to get some education, to put some different stuff in your mind. We understand that the good things in, good things out, garbage in, garbage out. So we're choosing to educate ourselves and redevelop or transform our own mind. It says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And many of us have not been introduced to success concepts on a regular basis so that we have the type of success maybe we want in our life and also get the results, get the fruit of our labor. Good evening to you, Ms. Vivian Reed. Thanks so much for joining us out of New York City, is in the house. What's going on with Miss Alba Bolden out of West Virginia? Thanks so much for joining us as well. Miss Hollingsworth is in the house out of ATL. Brother Stephen Credit King is in the house as well out of Tennessee. Now, also, I'd like to ask you guys a question, if you could do me a favor. I know that some of you guys kind of tune in on a regular basis. I love to know the value that you get out of our book club's readings. I think I might not value. I might take for granted what other people value, and so I love to get some feedback from you. We switch from mornings to evenings, and I've enjoyed it. But I've heard a little rumblings from people, and I love to get your feedback on. Is this something that you look forward to, or whatever the case may be? How does this help you, or whatever feedback you might have. Sometimes, just getting feedback helps you to just keep on going when you feel like maybe you're not making an impact that you love to make. What's going on, Miss? I think that is Sincere out of Mableton. Thanks so much for joining us. So, how to stop putting things off. Again, out of the book, University of Success. This book is written by Mandino, one of the greatest self-help authors in the world. And he put a compilation together of other great minds and brought their minds into one book. So that's why this is a university, because each section or each lesson is from a different contributor of this. I guess you can call it an anthology or this course. And so this is going to come from actually Dr. Wayne W. Dyer tonight. Dr. Wayne W. Dyer, and I'm pretty sure many of you have heard that name before. But we'll start with our introduction into this lesson. It says this, that procrastination is one of the most common and deadliest of diseases, and its toll on success and happiness is heavy. Procrastination is one of the the most common and deadliest of diseases, and its toll on success and happiness is heavy. Now, how many guys will be honest and say, you know what, I'm either dealing with procrastination or I've had to overcome procrastination in some areas of my life. And I'd imagine that there's probably an area in your life that you are procrastinating on, which leads to neglect. And you're starting to probably feel the pain of the burn in that particular area. I've also found that everybody's not necessarily a procrastinator in everything. It's normally the things that we just don't want to do. I mean, it's not our 10th area. It's normally like our 6th area, but it needs to get done. And eventually we get it done just because, we put away childish things and now we're adults. I guess that's how it is. Good afternoon to you. Thanks so much for joining us, Facebook user. That's probably Miss Glenda Tate Williams with a smile, with a sunshine face. I'd imagine that's who that is. Lesson 21, how to stop putting things off. Everybody put in the comments in capital letters, stop, S-T-O-P. How to stop. I mean, we want to put some vengeance, some resolve on this word. How to stop putting things off. And let's get right into this thing. I don't know if we'll be able to finish. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. We're going to be doing two parts. This is going to be part 1. We'll stop it here. Oh, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. Anyway, let's get into this thing, man. How to stop putting things off. New Black Wall Street Book Club After Dark series. Let's read. Never put off till tomorrow that which you can do today. All of us have lived with Benjamin Franklin's wise admonition since our early youth. It's a favorite utterance of all parents. We heard it from ours, and now we repeat it to our own children. And yet, although we acknowledge the great truth in that axiom, we usually conduct our lives as if its words were transposed to read, never do today that which you can put off until tomorrow. Unfortunately, there's no tomorrow. It can only be found in the calendars of fools. Tomorrow for them is the day when they will begin their journey towards success and riches. Tomorrow is the day they will reform, work harder, change their habits, repair broken friendships, repay old debts, apply for a better job. But tomorrow never comes, and countless lives that held so much promise are wasted in procrastination. As Stephen Leacock wrote long ago, the child says, when I'm a big boy, but what is that? The big boy says, when I grow up, then grow up, and he says, when I get married. But to be married, what is that? After all, the thought changes to when I'm able to retire. When retirement comes, he looks back over the landscape transverse. A cold wind seems to sweep over it. Somehow he has missed it all, and it is gone. Success and procrastination are absolutely incompatible. In order to succeed, you must, and you cure yourself of putting things off, and best-selling author Dr. Wayne W. Dyer will teach you how from his book, Your Erroneous Zones. Profit from this lesson, not tomorrow, but now. Not tomorrow, but now. Ms. Vivery said, there's great value in these readings. I've discovered many behaviors about myself that I didn't realize before. Okay, great value. I like to hear that. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for your feedback on what we're doing here with the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Are you a procrastinator? If you're like most people, the answer to that is yes. But chances are that you'd rather not live with all that anxiety that accompanies putting things off as a way of life. You may find yourself postponing many tasks that you want to accomplish, and yet for some reason you just keep suspending action. This procrastination business is a mighty tiresome facet of life. If you got a bad case, hardly a day goes by that you don't say, I know I should be doing it, but I'll get around to it later. You're putting it off. Erroneous zone is difficult to blame on outside forces. It's all yours, both the putting off and the discomfort you endure as a result of it. Procrastination is the closest there is to a universal erroneous zone. And very few people can honestly say that they are not procrastinators, despite the fact that it is unhealthy in the long run, as in all erroneous zones. There is nothing unhealthy about the behavior itself. Putting it off, in fact, doesn't even exist. You simply do, and those things that you simply do, and those things you don't do in reality are just undone rather than postponed. It is only the accompanying emotional reaction and immobilization that represent neurotic behavior. If you feel that you're putting things off and like it with no attending guilt, anxiety, or upset, then by all means, hang on to it. However, for most people, procrastination is really an escape from living present moments as fully as possible. Fully as possible. Putting it off for some could be an escape from actually doing it. Hoping, wishing, and maybe. Three neurotic phrases are of the procrastinator make up the support system for maintaining putting it off behavior. I hope things will work out. I wish things were better. Maybe it'll be okay. There you have the deferrer's delight. As long as you say maybe or hope or wish, you can use these as a rationale for not doing anything now. All wishing and hoping are a waste of time. The folly of fairyland residents. No amount of either ever got anything accomplished. They are merely convenient escape clauses from rolling up your sleeves and taking on the tasks that you've decided are important enough to be on your list of life activities. Now, notice that. We are procrastinating on things that we have decided for ourselves are important enough to even be on our list in the first place. It's on my list. I created the list, but I'm procrastinating on getting the stuff done on my list. Isn't that crazy? Let me say that again. I've made it important enough to put it on my list of things to get done. Yet, I'm not even doing the stuff on my list. Matter of fact, I would say most of us are doing stuff that's on other people's lists. When are you going to get around to your list? Let me read this again. Taking on the tasks that you've decided are important enough to be on your list of life activities. What's going on, Miss Beverly? Miss Thomas, thanks so much for joining. I appreciate your honesty, honey. Right? Oh, yes, I'm procrastinating. Sometimes I give myself an excuse. I hate it to the fullest. Hopefully tonight will help. You can do anything that you set your mind to accomplish. You're strong, you're capable, and are not the least bit brittle. But by putting things off for a future moment, you're giving in to the escapism, the self-doubt, and the most significantly, self-delusion. Your putting it off zone is a movement away from being strong in your now. Everybody putting down so strong in the now. And toward the direction of hoping that things will improve in the future. Hoping that things will improve in the future. Inertia is a strategy for living. Here's a sentence that can keep you inert in your present moments. I'll wait and I'll get better. For some, this becomes a way of life. You're always putting it off for a day that can never arrive. Mark, a recent client of mine, came to me complaining about his unhappy marriage. Mark was in his 50s and had been married for almost 30 years, and we began to talk about his marriage. It became clear that Mark's complaints were long-standing. It's never been any good, ever from the beginning. He said at one point, I asked Mark what had made him hold on for all these years of misery. I kept hoping things would get better, he confessed. Almost 30 years of hope, and Mark and his wife were still miserable. As we talked more about Mark's life and marriage, he admitted to a history of impotence that went back at least a decade. Had he ever sought help for this problem, I asked? No. He had merely avoided sex more and more and hoped that the problem would go away on its own. I was sure things would get better, Mark echoed his original statement. Mark and his marriage were a classic case of inertia. He avoided his problems and justified his avoidance by saying, if I wait and do nothing, maybe it'll work itself out. We say time heals all wounds, right? If I wait and do nothing, maybe it'll work itself out. That's called delusion. That's got to be that's called self-delusion. And I don't know. That doesn't sound too good right there. Somebody said losing weight is on my priority list, and that's what it is for me. As I walk and listen, only way it will improve is with me. Hey, yeah, walk. You better. Hey, you walking? That's exercise. If I wait and do nothing, maybe it'll work out itself out. Hey, man, hey, we be honest, man. Many of us found ourselves, hey, if I just do nothing right now, maybe it's going to take care of itself. And we hope it'll just go away. Wow. But Mark learned that things never work themselves out. They remain precisely as they are. At best, things change, but they don't get better. Things themselves, circumstances, situations, events, people will not improve alone. If your life is better, it's because you have done something constructive to make it better. If your life is better, that's because you've done something to make it better. If life is better, if your life is better today than it was yesterday, that's because you've done something to make your life better. Now, if we find that to be true, then maybe the opposite is true as well. If your life is worse today than it was yesterday, well, maybe you've done nothing to make it better. Oh Lord, I feel like I just stepped on a couple people's feet. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get that big toe. I didn't mean to get that big toe. I know that's the most important toe, that big toe. If your life is better today and it's better today than it was yesterday, that's probably because you've done something to make it better. But if life is worse today than it was yesterday, that's probably because you've done nothing to make it better. We could probably stop right there. I mean, that just sets the tone. Let's keep reading. Let's take a closer look at this procrastination behavior and how to eliminate it with some rather simple resolutions. This is not, I got you on the pinky toe. Oh, this little pinky went to the market. This little pinky went home. This little pinky went to New Black Wall Street Book Club, and it didn't come home. Woo! Let's take a closer look at the procrastination behavior and how to eliminate it with some rather simple resolutions. This is the one zone that you can clean up without a lot of hard mental work, since it is the one that you alone have created for yourself, without any of the cultural reinforcement that is the hallmark of so many other erroneous zones. Now, how does procrastination work? Donna Marquise called procrastination the art of keeping up with yesterday. To this, I would add, and avoiding today. This is how it works. You know there are certain things you want to do, not because others have so dictated, but because they are your deliberate choices. However, many of them never get done, despite your telling yourself that they will. Resolving to do something in the future, which you could do now, is an acceptable substitute for doing it, and permits you to delude yourself that you are really not compromising yourself by not doing what you have set out to do. It's a handy system that works something like this. I know I must do that, but I'm really afraid that I might not do it well, or I won't like doing it. So I tell myself that I'll do it in the future. Then I don't have to admit to myself that I'm not going to do it. And it is easier to accept myself this way. This is the sort of convenient, if fallacious reasoning that can be brought into play when you're faced with having to do something which is unpleasant or difficult. If you're a person who lives one way and says you're going to live another way in the future, those proclamations are empty. Empty. You're simply a person who is always adjourning and never getting things done. Ooh. There are, of course, degrees of procrastination. It is possible to put things off up to a point and then complete a task just prior to the deadline. Here again is a common form of self-delusion. If you allow yourself an absolute minimum amount of time to get your work done, then you can justify sloppy results or less than top-notch performance by saying to yourself, I just didn't have enough time. I just didn't have enough time. Man, you knew about that project 3 months ago. You knew about that project at the beginning of the year. You just waited until 2 nights before, and then you said you didn't have enough time. Nah, boo. Don't delude yourself. Woo! But you have plenty of time. You know that busy people get things done. But if you spend your time complaining about how much you have to do, procrastination, then you'll have no present moment time for doing it. An excuse to underperform. Miss Puerto Gillette is in the house. What's going on with you, Lisa? I once had a colleague who was a procrastination specialist. How many of you guys are procrastination specialists? Crazy. He was always busy chasing down deals and talking about how much he had to do. When he talked, others got tired just imagining the pace of his life. But a close look will reveal that my colleague actually did very little. He had a zillion projects going in his mind and never got down to work on any of them. I imagine that each night, long before dozing off, he deluded himself with a promise that tomorrow he would get that job finished. How else could he go off to sleep with his self-delusional system intact? He may have known that he would not, but so long as he swore that he would, his present moments were safe. You're not necessarily what you say. Behavior is much better barometer of what you are than your words. What you do in your present moments is the only indicator of what you are or what you are as a person. Emerson wrote, do not say things. What you are stands over you. What you are stands over you the while and thunders so that I cannot hear what you say to the contrary. What you are stands over you the while I don't need this is Emerson writing, but I try to read Emerson writing. Anyway, he basically said, he said, don't talk to me because what you do speaks louder than what you say. That's basically what he just said. Next time, as you say, you'll get it done, but you know that you won't. Keep those words in mind. They are the antidote to procrastination. They are the antidote to procrastination. What's going on, Miss Felicia? That sounds like progress. Can I get some hand claps in the chat, please? I had to push myself beyond just wishing, but doing. I finally did it. Can I get some hand claps in the chat, please? For our sister, Be the Light Enterprise LLC is official. Now I have to continue building and working my business. Failure is not an option. I finally did it. Congratulations, Miss Felicia Gardner, Be the Light Enterprises. Finally. How long have I been talking to you? Oh, Lord. Finally. You sound like The Rock right there. Finally. Be the Light has come back to the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Hand claps in the chat, please, for our sister getting things done. Help. Miss Beverly Thomas, it is hard for me to ask for because I'm always the one people, come to for help that leaves me feeling stuck. Ooh, we keeping it real tonight. I don't know what's going on here on tonight. It must be Monday. We keeping it real. Hey, you know what? I would say this, Miss Thomas. I think it's actually easier. It's easier for you to type than for you to say because you simply just did what you said that it's hard for you to do. You just asked for help. So can I get some hand claps in the chat, please, for Miss Thomas doing something, right? Asking for help, even though it may be difficult for her to do. And then now it's about getting that help. Now I don't know in which way you need the help, but here's what I've learned: that there are people. I've learned this. You guys tell me if this is true or not for you, but I found that I have way more support than I actually think I do. But it is incumbent upon me reaching out to get the help that I need. I think sometimes we think, let me just speak for myself, that when I am in need of help, that someone's going to magically think about me and prayed about me and they call me and it's going to be that magical moment. They'll be like, girl or brother, I just, you was on my mind. I just want to know if you needed some help. Right? That's probably not going to happen. But if you are, you actually, I believe you have more support than you think. It's just, you may have been Superman or Superwoman to everybody else in life, and you forget that there are actually some people that are Superman and Superwoman to you, for you. And these are probably people you don't talk to on a regular basis. They just, but they're there. And you can call on them when you need them. So I want you to think about the people in your life that you can call upon when you need them and actually call them. Okay. Right. And think about the people that you can call on when you need, because they ain't everybody. It's probably not the people that you can help that call on you. You probably can't call on them when you need help. That's not I haven't found out to be how the world works. But there's some people in your life that you know that you can call on when you need help. Here's the thing. You got to call them. you got to call them. Right. You got to call them. I'll pick up a phone call Chief Smith in a heartbeat. I'll pick up a phone call Lisa Puerto in a heartbeat. Right? I don't talk to them on a regular basis, but there's some people I know that I could call when I need some help. Got to pick up the phone call Miss Thomas. So your homework tonight, Miss Thomas, you're going to have to pick up that phone and call somebody who you know you call on when you need help. Okay? Got to take some action. We just don't know. We want to know. We just don't know. Critics and doers. Putting it off as a way of life is one technique that you can use to avoid doing. A non-doer is very often a critic. That is, someone who sits back and watches doers and then waxes philosophically about how the doers are doing it. It is easy to be a critic, but being a doer requires effort, risk, and change. Everybody put in console: effort, risk, and change. Being a doer requires effort, risk, and change. Effort, risk, and change. Now, here's a critic. Our culture is full of critics. We even pay to hear them. As you observe yourself and the people around you, take note of how much social intercourse is devoted to criticism. Why? Because it's just plain easier to talk about how someone else has performed than to actually be the performer. It's easier to talk about how someone else has performed than to actually be the performer. It's easier. Take note of real champions, those who have sustained a high level of excellence over a period of time. The Henry Aarons, the Johnny Carsons, the Bobby Fishers, the Katharine Hepburns, and Joe Lewises, and people of that ilk. Doers at the highest levels. Champions in every way. Do they sit around poking serious criticism at others? The real doers of the world have no time for criticizing others. They have no time. They're too busy doing. They work. They help others who are not as talented rather than serve as their critics. Constructive criticism can be useful. But if you've chosen the role of an observer rather than a doer, you are not growing. You are not growing. Moreover, you may be using your criticism to absolve yourself of the responsibility for your own ineffectiveness by projecting it onto those who are really making an effort. You can learn to ignore the fault finders and self-appointed critics. Your first strategy will be to recognize these same behaviors in yourself and resolve to eliminate them entirely so that you can be a doer rather than a procrastinating critic. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wow. Really making an effort. Yeah, we already put that down. Effort. Really making an effort. Really trying. And here's what I found, guys. I mean, when I talk to people, I say, did you really try? I mean, did you really try? I mean, did you really put in the effort, or did you talk about putting in the effort, but we can't see any evidence of that effort in your daily actions or whatever it is that you're trying to do? Did you really try? Did you really try? Boredom, a spinoff of procrastination. Life is never boring, but some people choose to be bored. The concept of boredom entails an inability to use up present moments in a personally fulfilling way. Boredom is a choice, something you visit upon yourself, and it is another of those self-defeating items that you can eliminate from your life. When you procrastinate, you use your present moments doing nothing as an alternative to doing anything. Doing nothing leads to boredom. The tendency is to blame boredom on the environment. This town is really dull, or what a boring speaker. The particular town or the speaker is never dull. It is you're experiencing the boredom, and you can eliminate it by doing something else with your mind or energy at that moment. Samuel Butler said, the man who lets himself be bored is even more contemptible than the bore. By doing what you choose now, or using your mind in creative new ways now, you can ensure that you'll never again choose boredom for yourself. The choice, as always, is yours. That's right, Ms. Lisa. Are you committed? All right? Are you committed? You say, absolving oneself of one's responsibility. Wow. And then we'll do this last little section, guys. Here's some typical procrastinating behavior. Typical procrastinating behavior. And let's see if we're guilty of any of this stuff. Here's some areas where procrastination is a much easier choice than action. It's a much easier choice than action. Staying in a job in which you'll find yourself stuck and unable to grow. Staying in a job in which you find yourself stuck and are unable to grow. Hanging on to a relationship that has gone sour. Staying married or unmarried and merely hoping that it will get better. Refusing to work on relationship difficulties such as sex, shyness, or phobias. Simply waiting for them to improve instead of trying to do something constructive about them. Not tackling addictions such as alcoholism, drugs, pills, or smoking, saying, I'll quit when I'm ready, but knowing that you are putting it off because you doubt that you can. Putting off arduous or menial tasks such as cleaning, repairing, sewing, lawn work, painting, and the like, providing you really care about whether or not they get done. If you wait long enough, maybe it will get done by itself. Maybe it'll get done by itself. Avoiding a confrontation with others. Avoiding a confrontation with others, such as an authority figure, a friend, a lover, a salesperson, or a serviceman. By waiting, you end up not having to do it. Although the confrontation might have improved the relationship or the service. How many guys have actually had a confrontation in which the relationship was actually improved because you were bold enough to be honest about whatever your truth was with that relationship? Some of us avoid confrontation because we believe that argument is actually a bad thing, or that debate is a bad thing. In some cases, that actually can improve the relationship because now I got respect for you because you'll just simply be honest about how you feel. How many guys know sometimes just not avoiding how many everybody put in console to talk. Sometimes you just gotta have a talk. a matter of fact, I know some people that's right here, right now. It's somebody in your life that it's time for you to have the talk. It could be your friend. It could be your children. It could be your spouse. It's time for you to have the talk, and you've been putting it off. You've been putting it off. I got a strange phone call today. Somebody finally called me and said, you know what? I just needed to have the talk. The talk. Right? There's some people in your life, or maybe some people that are kind of you've distanced yourself from simply because you avoided having a conversation. You would rather distance yourself than actually have the talk. Now, I think that's a disservice because this person may not really know how you really feel because you won't have the talk. Woo! They don't know that they've disturbed you, or that they hurt you, or whatever. That there's some they probably know there's no harmony there, but they don't really know why because you haven't had the talk. Avoiding a confrontation with others by waiting, you end up not having to do it. Although the confrontation might have improved the relationship or the service. Woo! Being afraid to change location geographically, you stay in the same place for a lifetime. Putting off spending a day or an hour with your children, which you might enjoy because you have too much work or are bogged down in serious matters. Similarly, not going out for an evening to dinner or to the theater or a sports event with your loved ones and using your "I'm busy" line to postpone it forever. Yikes, that hit home right there. I'm busy. I just tell people I just don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. Okay, deciding to start your diet tomorrow or next week. It's easier to put it off than to take it off. So you say I'll get to it tomorrow, which of course will never arrive. Now, if you're gonna diet, why you gotta wait till tomorrow to diet? I mean, if you're gonna diet, if you're gonna go on the diet, why you gotta wait till tomorrow to start? You just thought about a good idea, gonna get going. Using sleep or tiredness as a reason for putting it off. Did you ever notice how tired you get when you are close to actually doing something uncomfortable or difficult? A little fatigue is a terrific deferring device. Uh-oh. I'm too tired. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired, boss. I'm too tired. It's hot. It's hot out there. Getting sick when you're faced with a disquieting or troublesome task. How could you possibly do it now when you feel so terrible? Like exhaustion above, it is an excellent technique for procrastinating. The "I don't have time to do it" rules, in which you justify not doing something because of your busy schedule, which always has room for those things that you really want to do. We all make time for things that are important to us. Right? Constantly looking forward to a vacation or that dream trip. Next year, we'll find nirvana. Being a critic and using your criticism of others to camouflage your own refusal to do so. Uh-oh. Being a critic and using your criticism of others to camouflage your own refusal to do. Refusing to get a physical checkup when you suspect some dysfunction. By putting it off, you don't have to deal with the reality of possible illness. Being afraid to make a move towards someone you're fond of. It's what you want, but you rather wait it out and hope that things work out. Being bored at any time in your life. This is merely a way of putting off something and using a boring event as a reason for not doing something more exciting. Planning but never putting in action a regular exercise program. I'll get started on that right away next week. Now, I love this right here. We have so many different areas where we plan but never put into action. We plan to do it. We intended to do it. We might even put it on our calendar to do it, but we never actually did it. How many guys plan and then you replan? Still ain't really made no action. Right? Life kind of like time kind of slips away. We're supposed to get that done in May. We never got started in May. Let's replan. Hey man, this is keeping it real. Living your entire life for your children, always putting off your own happiness. How can we afford a vacation when we have the kids' education to worry about? Living your entire life for your children and always putting off your own happiness. He had to say the worst one for last. How can we afford a vacation when we have the kids' education to worry about? Oh my goodness. And these are some typical procrastinating behavior. Again, this is from Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. And this is just the first chapter, man. I mean, first part. We're going to, you know what? Let's just try to finish the chapter, man. Why not? Why not? We got time. Let's try to finish the chapter. Let's just do it. I said we're going to do a chapter a day. Okay. Okay. Let's just get it done. Reasons for continuing to put it off. Maybe this will help some people. That's right, man. She said, I'm working out now, right? She got us in the earbuds, right? She pushing past, I'm tired and sleepy, right? And our mediator training break after 8 hours of mediator training, breaking habits. That's right, man. Can I get some walk man or some running man, running woman or running man emojis in the chat, please, for please support us. She's working out right now. Okay. Can I get some workout emojis in the chat, please, from our sister, Miss Lisa Puerto? Right? Keep going. Okay, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna go ahead and finish it. All right. Reasons for continuing to put it off. The rationale for putting it off is composed of one part self-delusion and two parts escape. Here are the most important rewards for hanging on to procrastination. Most obviously, putting it off allows you to escape from unpleasant activities. There may be things you're afraid to do or things part of you wants to do and part of you doesn't. Remember, nothing is black or white. Number two, you can feel comfortable with your self-delusional system. Lying to yourself keeps you from having to admit that you are not a doer in this particular present moment. In this particular present moment, lying to yourself is delusion, just lying to ourselves. You can stay exactly as you are forever, and as long as you keep putting it off, as long as you keep putting it off, thus you eliminate change and all the risks that go with it. You eliminate change and all the risks that go with it. By being bored, you have someone or something else to blame for your unhappy state. Thus, you shift responsibility away from yourself and onto the boring activity. By being a critic, you can feel important at the expense of others. It is a way of using others' performance as stepping stones for elevating yourself in your own mind. More self-delusion. By waiting for things to get better, you can blame the world for your unhappiness. Things you just never seem to break for you. A great strategy for doing nothing. Now, this one here bothers me a lot. I mean, I see it a lot. Waiting for things to get better instead of making things get better. Right? Putting in some effort to make it get better. You're just waiting on some magical moment where something else is going to happen to make things better. You can avoid ever having to fail by avoiding all activities which involve some risk. In this way, you never have to come face to face with your own self-doubt. Wishing for things to happen, Santa Claus fantasies, allows you to return to a safe and protected childhood. You can win sympathy from others and feel sorry for yourself for the anxiety that you live with as a result of not doing what you'd like to have. Woo! Let me read this again. Whoo, Lord. You can win sympathy. This is called playing the game. You can win sympathy from others and feel sorry for yourself for the anxiety that you live with as a result of not doing what you'd like to have done. Whoo! Woo! Oh my goodness! I think all the toes are gone. I mean, we just walking around here bare feet with no toes. Woo! You're able to justify a sloppy or less than acceptable performance on anything if you put it off long enough, and then just allow minimal time saving for getting it done. But I just didn't have the time. By putting it off, you might be able to get someone else to do it for you. Thus, procrastination becomes a means of manipulating others. Uh-oh. Woo! By putting it off, you might be able to get someone else to do it for you. Thus, procrastination becomes a means of manipulating others. Now, I'm sure many of us may not have thought about that. That in my procrastination, I could be inadvertently using my procrastination to manipulate others. Wow. That's pretty deep and strong. Putting it off enables you to delude yourself into believing that you are something other than what you really are. By avoiding a task, you can escape success. If you don't succeed, you avoid having to feel good about yourself and accepting all of the continuing responsibility that goes with success. Now that you have some insight into why you procrastinate, you can begin to do something about eliminating this self-destructive, erroneous zone. So some techniques for ousting this postponing behavior. Make a decision to live 5 minutes at a time. Make a decision to live 5 minutes at a time. Instead of thinking of a task in long-range terms, think about now and try to use up a 5-minute period doing what you want, refusing to put off anything that will bring about satisfaction. Make a decision to live in the now. Sit down and get started on something that you've been postponing. Begin a letter or a book. You'll find that much of your putting it off is unnecessary, since you'll very likely find the job enjoyable once you give up the procrastination. Simply beginning will help you to eliminate anxiety about the whole project. Get started. Just get started. Just start. You might find that you get it done. Ask yourself, what is the worst thing that could happen to me if I did what I'm putting off right now? The answer is usually so insignificant that it may jar you into action. Assess your fear, and you'll have no reason to hang on to it. This is Procrastinators Anonymous. Lisa, start with admission and admitting. Right? Yeah, come with some techniques. All right, got you. Hey, Mr. Dyer. Give yourself a designated time slot, say Wednesday from 10 o'clock to 10:15, which you will devote exclusively to the task you've been putting off. You'll discover that the 15 minutes of devoted effort are often sufficient to see you over the hump of procrastination. Now, you know what? Let me finish this, and then I'll ask a question. Oh yeah, let me finish it. Think of yourself as too significant to live with anxiety about the things you have to do. So the next time you know you are uncomfortable with postponement anxiety, remember that people who love themselves don't hurt themselves that way. Ooh. Jesus. Whoa. Think of yourself as too significant to live with anxiety about the things you have to do. So the next time you know you are uncomfortable with postponement anxiety, remember that people who love themselves don't hurt themselves that way. People who love themselves don't hurt themselves that way. I had a brother that was on a live earlier, and his statement was kind of, it was kind of raw, but he was talking about how, he's talking about health, and he's saying, man, people that love themselves do not neglect their health for the most part. I mean, he said some other stuff, but I'm trying to clean it up. People that love themselves do not neglect their health. They do not neglect their health. They do not hurt themselves that way. Whoa, Mr. Dyer, you had to write it like that. Look careful at your now. Decide what you're avoiding in your current moments and begin to tackle the fear of living effectively. Procrastination is substituting the now with anxiety about a future event. If the event becomes the now, the anxiety by definition must go. Whew. Quit smoking now. Begin your diet this moment. Give up booze this second. Do one push-up as your beginning exercise project. That's how you tackle problems with action now. Do it. The only thing holding you back is you and the neurotic choices you made because you don't believe you're as strong as you really are. How simple. Just do it. Here's the thing, right? You don't believe you're as strong as you really are. And here's what I want to tell you. The people that are around you probably see you stronger than you see yourself. And they probably wonder why you just ain't got it done. I just tried to do the push-up this morning. Wow. Start using your mind creatively in what were previously boring circumstances. At a meeting, Change the dull tempo with a pertinent question, or make your mind go off in exciting ways, such as writing a poem or memorizing 25 numbers backwards, just for the sheer drill of memory training. Decide to never be bored again. Decide to never be bored again. When someone begins to criticize you, ask this question: do you think I need a critic now? Or when you find yourself being a critic, ask the person in your company if he wants to hear your criticism. And if so, why? This will help you to move from the critic to the doer column. Look hard at your life. Everybody put in console, look hard at my life. Look hard at your life. Are you doing what you choose to be doing if you knew you had 6 months to live? If not, you better begin doing it, because relatively speaking, that's all you got. Given the eternity of time, 30 years or 6 months makes no difference. Your total lifetime is a mere speck. Delaying anything makes no sense. Delaying anything makes no sense. Ask this question. These are things that you guys could do on your own. You could just, journal, write to yourself. I don't know. Have the conference, have a powwow about it. Are you doing what you choose to be doing if you knew you had 6 months to live? If not, you better begin doing it, because relatively speaking, that's all you really got. Given the eternity of time, 30 years or 6 months makes no difference. Your total lifetime is a mere speck. Delaying makes no sense. Be courageous about undertaking an activity that you've been avoiding. One act of courage can eliminate all that fear. Stop telling yourself that you must perform well. Remind yourself that doing it is far more important. Stop telling yourself that you must perform well. Doing it is far more important. Doing it is far more important. Decide not to be tired until the moment before you get into bed. Don't allow yourself to use fatigue or illness as an escape or to put off doing anything. You may find that when you take away the reason for the illness or exhaustion, that is, the avoidance of a task, physical problems magically disappear. Eliminate the words hope and wish and maybe from your vocabulary. They are the tools of putting it off. If you see these words creeping in, substitute new sentences. Change, I hope things will work out, to I will make it happen. Change, I wish things were better, to I'm going to do the following things to ensure that I feel better. Change, maybe it will be okay, to I will make it okay. Keep a journal of your own complaining or critical behavior. By writing these actions down, you'll accomplish two things. You'll see how your critical behavior surfaces in your life, the frequency, the patterns, the events, and people that are related to your being a critic. You'll also stop yourself from criticizing, because it will be such a pain to have to write it in a journal. If you're putting something off which involves others, a move, a sex problem, a new job, have a conference with all involved and ask their opinions. Be courageous about talking of your own fears and see if you are delaying for reasons that are only in your head. By enlisting the aid of a confidant to help you with your procrastination, you'll have made it a joint effort. Soon you'll dissipate much of the anxiousness that goes along with procrastination by sharing that as well. Write a contract with your loved ones in which you will deliver the goods you want to, but which you have been postponing. Have each party keep a copy of the contract and build in penalties for defaulting. Whether it's a ball game, a dinner out, a vacation, or theater visit, you'll find this strategy helpful and personally rewarding, since you'll be participating in events that you also find enjoyable. If you want the world to change, don't complain about it. Do something. Rather than using up your present moments with all kinds of immobilizing anxiety over what you are putting off, take charge of this nasty, erroneous zone and live now. Be a doer, not a wisher, a hoper, or a critic. Be a doer, not a wisher, a hoper, or a critic. Now, I will tell you this, guys. Especially if you're already in the BBC, our club, we are really, this whole accountability thing is real for us. It's a serious thing, and so much so that we have just launched, or we're just going to be launching a midweek checkup. This midweek checkup is going to be on your progress towards the things that you want to have in any area of your life, whether that be your career, whether it be your health, it be your mental status, I don't know, whatever it is that you're building or what you're wishing for, you're hoping for, and all that good stuff. Because we're going to be doers, and we're going to help each other to keep on doing so that we can make our world and ultimately the world a much better place. If you want the world to change, do something. Stop talking about it. Be about it. In the comments below, love for you to share something that you learned tonight. I thought we was going to do a two-part, but that is the whole lesson on how to stop putting off, how to stop putting things off. A lesson taught to us by Dr. Wayne Dwyer, coming out of the book, The University of Success. We got lesson 22, which we'll be going over tomorrow, how to cherish and use the magic of time. How to cherish and use the magic of time. Love you to share, man, something you took away from tonight, something that you might be chewing on, you might be meditating on, something like that. As I said, we're activating the subconscious mind by reading at night to be able to capture some of the things that we you started rushing off into the day and losing these moments. We're able to meditate and chew on some things. Love to know, man, your takeaway from tonight. I don't do this just to do this. I do this to make a difference, and hopefully we made a difference in your life here tonight. As I asked earlier, we talk about value, value that you get from tuning in to something like this. This is uncommon. And I hope it becomes more popular. But we must be the change that we want to see, and therefore we must change. So I know I talk much faster than you type. So while you guys are typing, just sharing any feedback you have for our lesson here tonight. We do have tomorrow Chief Smith over on BBC TV. If you have not gone there, that's where we have our content creators have compiled or have come together to provide our own media. So go ahead and check us out. We just have a Facebook page right now, so we can see, how much interest there is in something like this. Hopefully, Lisa Puerto will be coming with her real estate stuff soon. I know she's going through a lot of stuff with school and stuff, but she's another content creator we hope to bring over to our collaboration. But yeah, just go ahead and check out Facebook page Black BC TV. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe button again. We're really just trying to see how many people are interested in us. You're providing a content for us. We must become our own media, stop being influenced by mainstream media, and actually get stuff like this that we can share with each other, share with our kids and things like that. Tomorrow, Chief Smith will be, I believe she'll be on tomorrow night with her Inner Chi show. So check her out tomorrow, I believe at 7:30. It's tomorrow night. I don't know. I forget what time, but tomorrow night. So you check us out on the BBC TV. You're going to get information about your health, your wealth. We have a cooking show. We have our book clubs. We have financial shows. Yeah, we have men's shows, women's shows, stuff like that. So check us out. All right, man. See what you guys talking about here. What's your nuggets for tonight? Yeah, the nugget. I like that. Nugget procrastination shows up in many forms. Miss Teresa Harvey Gillett, just do it. Absolutely. Miss Chief Smith, man, takeaway. Make small goals to achieve the big picture. Bottom line, do something. Absolutely. Miss Vivian Reed says, get things done now instead of putting things off till later, because more than likely it won't get done, right? Later typically never comes. Yes, that's very true. I must stay consistent, continue to see results. What's going on, Miss Gardner? That's right, Miss Bolden. It's right here. It's this entire show of Jewel. So many takeaways. I end up talking about the entire lesson all over again. Fire, absolutely. And again, at Chief Smith show, again, tomorrow, BBC TV at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Check out our sister here bringing that fire on Tuesday nights, okay? So anyway, guys, this is, again, I want to say thanks so much for your support, showing up. Very, very wonderful session here tonight, how to stop putting things off. I think this is an area that many of us might find some, areas of struggle, areas of improvement. Tomorrow, we'll be back in the saddle again. We'll be talking about how to cherish and use the magic of time, how to cherish and use the magic of time 24 hours in a day. We all got 24 hours in a day is what we do with it. I'm your host, ERGJ, Certified Global Financial Educator, here for the New Black Wall Street Book Club After Dark edition. I want you guys to remember this, man, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all got, beautiful people. Matter of fact, we really need, and thank God, that's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ hits the music.
New black, new. It's the new Black Wall Street Book Club with your host Evan Jefferson. It's time for us to go. Yeah. Now you ain't gotta leave the computer, but we encourage you to get out there and learn and apply all the things you learn at the new Black Wall Street Book Club. Book Club. Yeah. The new Black Wall Street.